So just like all of our other dashboards, you can navigate to this dashboard by searching in the search window, Data Warehouse, or by following the breadcrumbs, Home, About Mesa, Institutional Effectiveness, Institutional Research, Data Warehouse. We're going to spend a couple minutes going over our Enrollment Trends dashboard. The Enrollment Trends dashboard gives information about how many students are enrolled in courses, fill rates, full-time equivalent faculty assigned to a program or courses, full-time equivalent students enrolled, and various other measures and metrics that we look at in enrollment management. This dashboard is updated regularly, so please be sure you're looking at the updated on date here to ensure that the information is as recent as you need it to be. As with all of our dashboards, we have a beginning page that gives some information about operational definitions and tabs across the top. This first tab looks at basic enrollment information. You can filter to look at certain terms. So if I want to compare fall terms instead of spring terms, I can include that. And here at the bottom, you'll see the fall terms that are being included. I can look at one school at a time. I can look at one program at a time. I can look at one or multiple courses. I can also look at different types of courses, different times of the day that the course is offered, the enrollment for the course, and the capacity. So this first line here indicates the full-time equivalent student count from term to term. The next is enrollment based off of census. The next is full-time equivalent faculty that are assigned to the schedule. And the next is the number of valid sections that are being included in the data. So please note that we do not include honors contracts as unique sections or concurrent sections with 0 FTEF and 0 values for FTEF, FTEF, and enrollment. We will include the enrollments that occur in those honors contracts and those concurrent sections. They just won't be counted as a unique and valid section of its own. The next is enrollment metrics. So this page lets you look at various combinations of the previous metrics that we looked at and show productivity and efficiency, and can help us get a better idea of the courses that students are enrolling in places where we might not have the highest levels of enrollment. So the first is full-time equivalent students per full-time equivalent faculty. The next is WISH, or weekly student contact hours per faculty. The next is fill rate. So this is total census enrollment divided by total capacity. Average class size. And again, this is divided by the total unique numbers of sections or valid section count from the previous page. And average capacity. So what is the average capacity of the classes that are offered during that term? The next is those very similar metrics, but at the course level. So here's our FTES per FTEF, the WISH per FTEF, average class size, and fill rate. And again, I can select specific programs, I can select specific course designators or start times. The next tab gives me the same information, but just in tabular form. Again, you may want this data to be displayed in a table rather than a graph, so this gives you that same information. It also includes the separation of contract FTEF, overload FTEF, and adjunct FTEF, which are the 3 different types of assignments that we track. And the next 2 look at the current term information. So this current term that we're looking at here is for spring 2019, because that's the term that we're currently registering for. So this would be a place you could look at that would give you information about how courses are filling as registration goes on. So this first side includes information about the course, and the second side includes the different measures. So this is capacity, enrollment change since the last time this table was updated, the current fill rate, in the number of students who are currently on the wait list for that section. We also have a current term weekly enrollment. This particular visualization lets you look at the number of students who enrolled during each week of registration. So week 1 is the first week of registration. Week 2 is the second week of registration. So this is a cumulative number. So you're not adding these two together. This is just simply how many students are currently enrolled as of week 2 of registration. And then the last separates out students adding, the students dropping, and the cumulative enrollment. You can see when we see spikes in enrollment, when we see spikes in drops, and the cumulative or sum enrollment for the semester. And as with all of our dashboards, we encourage you to leave feedback here. Here's the dashboard feedback form. If something looks off, is not functioning correctly, or you just have ideas on how to make our dashboards more effective.